No, I'm here
More
for it.
questions?
Yes. So the second one is a little bit deeper, right? So I'll give you some background to it, and you'll probably laugh a little bit. So I was watching Flagrant this week, and Liver King was on Flagrant, right? Did you watch the Liver King episode of Flagrant?
No.
I can't recommend it enough,
Okay.
right? So Liver King, if you guys don't know who Liver King is, online personality, eat the liver, blah, 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 ancestral tenants, all this stuff, right? And he was saying for a long time that he wasn't doing steroids. That was obviously stupid.
You've seen him before.
Yeah, it's obviously ridiculous. And so this week it was exposed, or last week exposed that he has been doing steroids for a very long time. It's like, oh my God, people are very upset. So he's on Flagrant, right? And he had what seemed to me to be a very honest conversation. It was very candid. It was very open about kind of the exploration he was doing about his insecurities and why he had done this type of stuff and why he was working out this way. And he was saying, he's like, I've been working out 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week since I was in high school, and was using it as a way to cover up his insecurities, and like I had proved to myself, like I gotta beat myself up so that I can be like, you've earned this, blah, 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 right? So he's in the gym like 3 times a day, sometimes 4 times a day, and that's why he's doing steroids, is so that he can recover enough to continue to work out like this. And he's been working out like this to avoid dealing with trauma from his childhood of like being bullied and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so he's just
David Goggins style.
yeah, and he's just, now that this steroids thing has happened, actually beginning to look into his past and identify, why have I been living this type of lifestyle this whole time. So he's like, seems to be just kind of figuring this out, and so it did seem like a very honest conversation. And Andrew Schultz said something to him to the effect of, you don't have to destroy yourself in the gym to be a good person. Like there are other ways to find value in yourself. You should ask yourself, were you a good father this day? Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? Right? So that made me think a lot about the different ways that I find value in myself and the value that I see in myself, and whether that was aligned correctly with what my actual values are, and whether those things are lined up or not. And I think there's a lot of inconsistency in that, in the things that I value as a person, but the way that let me rephrase it, the things that I think are valuable in other people don't align with what I think people find valuable in me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That I don't...
Is it kind of like you have other standards for other people that may not be the same standards you hold yourself up to?
It's not that I don't hold myself to those standards, but it's that I don't I don't think that people are recognizing those things in me like I am recognizing them in other people. You know what I'm saying? So the way that I stick really hard to like lying, how I'm big I am on like lying and stuff like that. I know that I am honest, and that's why I live that way, but I don't think that people recognize that as something that's valuable in me.
Got it. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That is very clear.
Yes. Yeah. And so I don't have enough of a list to be able to lay them out right now, but my question for you is, where do you find value in yourself? What qualities of yourself as a person do you identify and say, this is valuable, like this is a positive thing?
Yes.
That's my question.
Ooh.
And I can talk for a minute if you want to think.
Well, I mean, I'll just think out loud, because honestly, this is something I have always struggled with, if you will. I've never been one to value myself pretty much at all. So I struggle with every day. I just don't generally think about it, and I get lost in the work of the things. You know what I mean? You just do the things, and you stay busy. And you don't have to work on yourself. I literally had I had a very long conversation with my wife about this the other day, and it's. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't feel secure enough in. I mean, I bet you I could think of something. Like, I think I'm pretty loyal to my friends, probably to a fault, which is why I generally try to keep them to a few. because that obviously can get complicated. But yeah, I don't know. I know I have lots and lots of work to do in that department, which is something I just signed up for BetterHelp.com, by the way.
There you go.
So I'll be doing that and trying to actually do some work in that department, because I have never really valued myself necessarily, any really aspect. I know I have good things. People
Right.
tell me that. I have friends, you know,
Right.
family, you know. So it's not like I think I'm a worthless piece of shit or anything like that. But I don't consciously think about that, because I would probably spiral if I tried to do that, because I'm not in a good headspace. So,
Right.
So yeah, that is a very interesting question that you brought up there. But yeah,
Yes.
no, I really don't have anything to bring to that, other than the fact that my biggest, I think we'll say the one thing I know I can value in myself right now is that I can identify that I need to work on identifying the value that I have to myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like alcoholics, you know. I mean, you got to admit you have a problem
Right.
before you can even start. So
Right.
that's where I'm at right now.
Yes. So I was thinking
Hashtag Liver King. What's up, man?
Right.
Get you thinking some deep stuff.
Very good episode. So I was
good.
thinking like the whole way here about what my answer was going to be to you, you know, and I was trying to think of a real specific thing, and because I know there are the things, like I said, the honesty and things like that, consistency. Like, these are things that I find that I value in other people, and so I know, because they're core values of mine, these are positive things. I don't ever consider them, because to me they're just facets of my personality at this point. Like, this is just part of who I am, because it matters so much to me. But it is something of value, because it's something that I look for in other people. So that is a thing of value, even if I don't regard it as that or think that other people are identifying that in me, right? And I started to think about that.
That's a good deal.
I started
That's
to
a good
think
one.
about that in depth last night, because Jordan was talking about a conversation that she had with somebody else about me and the show that we were doing. And someone asked her about the show. What's the show about? And Jordan had a better spiel than I did, surprisingly.
Like, that's a tough gig.
I
I don't really know.
Something to the effect of, it's about liberty and teaching people what their rights are, and going over things in the news so that people can see the way that their rights are being infringed upon, and so they can try and do everything they can to protect them and just live out their freest life possible. Something to that effect. She's like, that's good.
That's a good elevator pitch.
Yeah. So then she just talked about, she's like, and I just love you guys so much, and I love you so much. Like, I'm proud of what you guys are doing, and like, it's so noble and valuable. So on my way here, I was thinking about that, and I value my wife so much. I think that she's so great, I think she has so many positive qualities. And so I thought about what she was saying to me, and this premise that I kind of laid out too about not finding value in other people, or people not finding value in me in certain things. And I think a really good starting point for my venture down this was really having it set in. My wife is so incredible that if she is finding this much value in me, then there is definitive value there, because she would not be wasting her time. She would not be, she wouldn't do that to herself, because she has so much other things going on that it wouldn't make sense to her to be spending this much time, to have invested this time in someone who doesn't have inherent value. So
if you can't identify it yourself, you know that there is a there.
Yes.
You just, because you can trust in that, because you have enough faith in other people.
Yes.
And the right people, I should say. Yeah.
To me, a good base, because accepting that, knowing that fully, I can't ever convince myself, well, there is no value. I don't have value, because I know for a fact I do, because someone else is seeing value in me. Even if it isn't the things that I find value in other people, someone is seeing value in me, because they're investing this much time. They're investing children, a lifestyle, a house, all of these things. You know what I'm saying? That's such a good baseline of like,
Pretty
now
solid.
I can't ever go back to, you don't have value. There aren't things about you that are positive, because I know that's not true.
That's a good thing to like realize. That's solid, good stuff, man. By the way, your wife is pretty awesome. Huge fan.
She's great.
Huge fan.
She's great.
And I mean, on that note too, I mean, like, given our relationship over the years, I think I can pull inherent value from myself due to that, because you don't waste time with motherfuckers that are downers in your life. So
You see me cut people, man.
you ain't kicked me to the curb yet, so there's got to be something there.
We've had, probably dozens of conversations about other people when I've been very open of like,
Oh, yeah.
this does not meet the standard. This
Yeah.
particular behavior does not meet the standard, and I'm only going to tolerate so much of this before I'm just going to be done with this person.
Yeah.
Like we've had many conversations like that.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of conversations with my wife of that same tenor, in which she's asked, like I'm not trying to question you, but I have to ask honestly, is there some type of wiggle room? Is there like gray area here? Is there like, for some things there are, but there are other things where there is not, honesty is one of those things, like lying. If this reads to me as a lie, you had just lied to me. So it's fine if you don't see it that way. If you don't think that that's what it is, you don't interpret it that way.
That's how I'm perceiving it.
Yep, I'm telling you, this was not honest. This was a lie, and I'm not gonna tolerate that.
Yeah,
That's not gonna be a thing that's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
So those conversations like that, like, is there really a lie? Like, do you really feel that way? I'm like, yeah, 100%. Like, there's no gray area. If you were not honest about something, you lied about it because you weren't fucking honest.
Yeah.
Withholding information, all that type of shit, and that's not. My friends have to tell me everything. It's nothing like that. Not everything is my business. But
Just don't lie to me.
I would rather someone say, I don't want to talk about it, or I don't want to tell you, than say anything other than that. Anything that is anything that isn't the truth.
And that's a struggle in this part of the world, man. I will tell you that right now. Being all over the world like I have, and living with different communities of people on this coast, the other coast, down in California, up in Alaska, visiting, I got a lot of European family and stuff like that. This is 100% like the passive aggressive. I'm going to lie to your face so I don't hurt your feelings, or possibly alter your slight perspective of me because I need to maintain this view that I'm putting out into the world. I mean, this is the capital of the world that I can find for that. This whole kind of Pacific Northwest area, for whatever fucking reason, it's that way, man. There's a lot of fake stuff, for lack of a better word. There's a lot of fakeness out here, and people will lie to you just to like, because they think it will like, because they're afraid of like how you might think of them.
Right.
If they were to tell you the God's honest truth, when if they actually knew somebody like you, be like, yeah, okay, whatever, that's cool, whatever. Yeah. Tell me what's on your mind, and we can have that conversation. But I probably will not judge you as long as you just tell me what's going on, and then okay, that's fine, dude. You do you.
I have to consistently reassure people that what I'm saying is the truth, because it's not so
out
bold,
here.
it's so honest that it's always like no, like that. I promise, I'm not because I'm mad, it's not because I'm whatever, but this is the truth about how I feel. So I'm just telling you, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna be dishonest. It happens all the time.
What's really funny is like having this conversation, to think about it a little bit. Your personality, as far as like where the most amount of people that think generally in those terms, that are not afraid to tell you fuck you to your face, and I'm just going to be completely honest with you no matter the fucking cost. And Long Island, South Shore, old school, like think Jersey Shore motherfuckers.
Yeah,
those people, bro. That's when I lived there. That was my first experience in like a really different culture like that for long term. And it was very weird, and I grew very accustomed to it, and I grew to appreciate it, which probably has something to say about this. But yeah, no, I'm like, if I could airdrop you and just put you into South Shore, Long Island, you'd fit right the fuck in.
That's right.
Hey everybody, Colin here from Salt the Streets. Thank you for watching today's edition of Salty Shorts. If you liked what you saw, please be sure to check out the full episode right here on the Salt of the Streets YouTube channel. Please give us a like, comment, subscribe, and be sure to share this with all your friends. And you too can become a spreader of the message of liberty. Thanks.
Welcome to the Salt of the Streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready to eat everything.